got around the back of Alan McLaren there and pulled it back. The young lad there had pulled himself back nicely. Richard Goff did well to make the ball go into that area.
Yeah, the two of you remarked on that at the time, that Goff was in a good position.
Kept the forward away from goal.
Was right, but Alan McLaren being dragged out, it's meant that Goff and Petric have got a wee bit spread, more so than they would have liked. They've kept together fairly well in the first half, but at that time they got a wee bit spread.
That was one of the few incidents when they've actually sort of got behind us, you know. So.
But it is worrying the amount of possession that Steaua have had.
Yeah, exactly.
It's worrying for Rangers, but I don't think they should get over worried about it. If Steaua have got it deep in their own half or in the middle of Rangers' half, then they shouldn't get too worried about it. Yeah. And I think what Rangers have also got to do is keep possession, even to the extent of not going anywhere at times.
Yeah.
It will take the heat off them. It will take certainly the heat off the defence.
OK then, lads, OK, great. Well, time for another short break. Join us again in a couple of minutes for all the second half action live from Bucharest. Welcome back. It's 0-0 in Bucharest. It could have been 1-0 Rangers, Trevor. This goalkeeper of Steaua looks a bit dodgy, doesn't he?
We're just saying that. He's had 3 contributions really to the first half, and 2 of those were mix-ups with his defenders, which means we've got to get a bit of pressure on him. And we've seen at the end of the half there, get the corners in on him as well. There you go. He's had 2 incidents really very similar there, and a lack of communication between himself and the defenders. And that could have ended up at Ali McCoy's feet, knowing Ali.
Yeah, of course.
But it didn't on this occasion.
Gascoigne began to come to life a bit more, Alec. That was encouraging, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's absolute best when he's picking the ball up deep in the midfield, as we see here, and going around defenders at pace. Unfortunately, the shot rebounds and Steaua break away again, and that's what they have to be aware of. When Gascoigne's getting forward, I think Rangers have to keep a sitter behind him, one of the midfield guys.
Because that could have been tricky there, what we just saw. They could have broken and done damage.
Rangers have essentially got 3 passers in there in the midfield, and there's not a natural sitter amongst them. And these guys they're all used to getting forward at every opportunity. And when Gascoigne's getting forward there, you see Ian Durant up in support of him, and Charlie Miller on the other side of him, with nobody there if it breaks out.
What can we do about his temperament, though, Trevor? I mean, again, booked tonight for just a crazy lunge, really.
Oh, it was a rash challenge again, and his reaction afterwards, I think, as much got him booked as the incident itself. It was pretty wild. I don't know if at that point he was going to get booked, but he throws his arms up in the air, and I think that attracts the wrong sort of
I think you're absolutely right, Trevor. If he'd perhaps gone over and picked the guy up, maybe clapped him on the head and conned the referee a wee bit, if you like.
Cool the thing down, Ali.
Take the heat out of it. The ref may have kept his card in his pocket.
Rangers had a free kick now, a very interesting position, and again Gascoigne in the thick of it.
That's
right. But unfortunately, the goalkeeper's in the right position.
Yeah, I predicted that he was going to put it into that corner, but he didn't quite get enough bend on it.
I passed the other corner, but you were spot on, Trevor.
I was, wasn't I? But he just didn't get it wide enough. He obviously wanted to start that outside the far post and curl it in. But the goalkeeper actually seemed to be a bit unsighted there, so again there's a little bit of grey area between himself and the defence. So.
Yeah. 7 in a wall, he's got 7 players in the wall. There's no way you can possibly see that.
Yeah, and the wall's moving towards him all the time.
Yeah.
Briefly, Alec, will the situation stay the same, do you think, the second half?
Well, I think up to now, we're saying it's quite boring, and surely that's got to be good news for Rangers.
Yeah. OK, well, let's see what happens now in the second 45 minutes. Let's go back to Bucharest and rejoin commentator Jerry McNee.
So we're still awaiting the arrival of the teams, although Paul Gascoigne has been back out in the field for several minutes. And you can see the statistics from the first half, and they tell you that Steaua enjoyed most of it. Well, tonight is the 3rd time these clubs have met in European competition. Rangers won the first encounters way back in 69-70 in the Cup Winners' Cup, but then lost in season 87-88 to Steaua in the Champions Cup itself. So the players starting to drift onto the field. Most of the Rangers players are back out. And Terry Butcher, what would you imagine Walter Smith is thinking at the moment?
Well, I think he'd be quite relieved that Steaua, with all their possession, 60% possession, haven't created too many clear-cut chances. They've had a couple of half chances, a lot of long shots really aimed at straight at Andy Gorham, who's dealt with them very, very well. They forced a lot of corners, but Rangers, with their great aerial strength, have dealt with them very well as well. It's at the other end he'll be concerned, and they haven't got the passing game going. They haven't really strung any passes together. Brian Laudrup hasn't got in the game at all, so he really would just be saying to his players, look, you haven't done well, you haven't really got started in this game yet. Let's get the ball down, let's win the ball back early, get the ball down, get it to the ball players in midfield especially, get it together, get Charlie Miller forward, see if we can get Ian Durant forward, but not all at once, and just give some support to Ali McCoist. But I think if you just be not too unhappy that things are going a little bit boringly, as Alec McLeish quite rightly says, it's no score at the moment. Rangers can only get better.
So I just wonder if Ali McCoist will remain in the field for all of the second half. There must be the temptation to push on Gordon Durie, but I think it was a brave decision by Walter Smith to start with Ali. Certainly he's been scoring goals again, and but the old legs might be letting him down a bit. But again, if the midfielders can just get that ball into his feet, it might help. So away we go for the second half. And Filipescu has come on for Steaua, as we saw from the caption just a moment or two ago. Julian Filipescu, who can operate either in defence or midfield, and certainly he's taken up station not far from Charlie Miller. So it's Gielka playing it through. And here's the substitute, Filipescu. In steps Petric for Rangers, through now for Laudrup. And again, he's well challenged, but Rangers have the throw. It's Gascoigne who plays it through. McCoist. This is Charlie Miller. Now it's Durant. Laudrup. Crellin goes in support. But he's asking a lot of himself there. And that decision goes Steyer's way. Well, Rangers playing their 165th European tie tonight. Steaua their 107th. Rangers are looking for their 80th victory overall. And how Ali McCoist would love to get a goal here. He's still to score in the Champions League. He holds jointly with Ralph Brand Rangers' European record with 12 goals. So it was Gascoigne making a challenge, and Steaua have the corner kick. Prodan, the tall centre-back, moves forward. It's played shot, though, to Filipescu. And it's a wasted opportunity. Cleared there by Gascoigne. Now it's Laudrup. Laudrup popping up on either flank, trying to find some space for himself. But so far he's found that impossible.
To be fair to Brian Laudrup, every time he does pick the ball up, there's two Steaua Bucharest players on him straight away. So even if he does beat them, you know, it delays it a little bit of time for the other Bucharest players to get back. So they've done their homework well. So every time he does get the ball, he's very tightly marked.
Yeah, I think watching tapes of the Athens games from last season would teach them that, because they dealt very effectively with him as well. This is Durant. Laudrup. Again, they're all around him. And Durant just fails to hold on to that one. Now it's Dobos. And McLaren whacks the ball high into the crowd for the throw-in to Steaua Bucharest. Militaru, who had such a good first half. Ladayu trying to find an opening here. It cannons off Petric. And right across goal by Pirvu.
Perhaps the Steaua Bucharest team have been sponsored for the number of shots they have in the game. Perhaps they got a bag of salt or something for every time they have a shot on target. But every time the ball comes to anybody outside the box, they're willing to have a pop.
Well, first half they had 4 shots on target and 7 wide.
There's probably 11 bags of salt going somewhere.
Still, Rangers are finding it difficult to get possession and keep it. This is Cheek. Getting inside onto the left foot, and that was well charged down by McLaren. Rangers gave the right full-back a bit of space there, but ultimately McLaren came across to block the effort. But now Steaua have the corner kick. And both the centre-backs move into the Rangers area. Filipescu's on the far side. Gorham's in trouble again here. Well, Gorham's looking out and complaining towards the referee. But certainly there's a lot of height on this side when it comes to the set pieces. The 2 centre-backs moving forward. Filipescu is a tall player as well, but Andy Gorham again in all kinds of trouble. This is Filipescu. It's Ilya, being carefully watched by Petric. McCoy goes down, and the referee immediately awards a free kick to Rangers. And the challenge being made there by Daniel Prodan. This is Gascoigne, lead off by Laudrup. Gascoigne again. He's got enough work to do here, though. That's Filipescu. Petrus is with him. And the referee rightly awards a goal kick. He immediately signalled over to the tall Steaua substitute that he was getting nothing out of that. Dimitriou, the coach, not looking too happy.
I think the second half started off in the same way that the first half finished. Rangers can't get out of their own half at the moment, and when they do get possession inside the Steaua half, they give the ball away far too easily. I think they should try and make some passes, try and get some possession going.
Well, Goff and McLaren let that one slip away from him there, and Vladiuk was the man who pounced, and now he's been fouled. And Cleland being spoken to by the referee, and he was spoken to in the first half, and that would indicate a final warning. So another testing moment coming up for Andy Gorham, who hasn't looked too happy as the cross balls have come in tonight, but that's a magnificent stop by the Rangers keeper. He must have seen that one very late indeed. Vladiuk was right in front of him as the ball was played in.
This is a magnificent free kick, just right on the blob there. Anybody gets the touch, but Andy Gorham must have put some glue on his gloves at half-time, because that ball stuck very firmly. Here you see it again, comes in right on the button there. Good save, right down at his feet. Good save by Andy Gorham. That'll give him a lot of confidence, but Rangers can't afford to give free kicks away in those areas.
You saw the desperation of Rangers here. Ali McCoy's back in his own 6-yard area, trying to get in front of Vladiuk, and the pair of them almost unsighting Andy Gorham. So Rangers trying to get things going again. It's McCoy's playing it through. This is Laudrup. Good play by Laudrup, but Filipescu sticks to the task. It's McCoist. That ball's taking a slight deflection, but the keeper has it safely.
I think Rangers are very eager to get forward once they do get possession around the box. But if they just keep the ball, keep the passing, try and get the ball changed from flank to flank if they can, and try and stretch this Steaua team, they might have a chance.
It's play through looking for Vladiuk. And McLaren lets it run behind for the goal kick.
They're just a bit eager. Do you not feel that they're just a little bit eager, Rangers, when they get possession? They're eager to make that killer ball. They're eager to try and beat one or two people, when just retaining possession is enough, just to try and relieve the back three, relieve the back five, relieve Andy Gorham, just to try and get out of their half a little bit, try and make some passes, try and open up the defence, try and get the ball through to Brian Laudrup, but you know, they just keep trying to go past one or two people too many and lose possession too easily.
Well, I said earlier, Terry, that you know, the manager Walter Smith has really gone for it tonight. He's put out his attacking players like Miller, Durant and McCoist. He's gone for them all, but you do see the effects of the loss of Stuart McCall, who can really dig in that midfield area. And Paul Gascoigne is really disappointed again in the main tonight. This is Goff now having to mop up, and it's McLaren in alongside him. And Vladiou gets a touch there, and it's Rangers' ball. This is Raducan. He takes the return pass. Still it's Raducan. That's a fine effort. Well, he linked well there with Ilya and got in the shot. For the young player who's come in tonight in the absence of Lakatouche, giving some real problems to Rangers there. And Andy Gorham happy to see that one dip over.
There's another bag of salt going his way, but you know, any little balls that they do like the little give and goes, coming from the wide positions, giving into their strikers and going and trying to play a bit of a delayed 1-2, but they're having a lot of success. Once they get past that Rangers midfield, they're straight into the Rangers back three.
It's Goff's header, and he was fouled. So Vladiou pleads his innocence, and Ilya's in there as well. But Goff was certainly nudged as he climbed to clear that ball. Well, players are really tempting fate when they start arguing with referees at this level.
Especially a referee who's a tax inspector, anyway.
So it's Petric who plays it through, looking for McCoist. It's Charlie Miller. This is Laudrup. Vladiou, the number 9, back there again, digging in. He's all over the field. This is Durant. Again, he's quickly closed down. It's in a decent cross, though. This is Goff. Gascoigne's touch lets him down. And again, Rangers have lost possession. This is Ilya, closed down by Petric. But he's got away from the Rangers defenders, and it's Goff who provides the cover.
I think the back three have done very well tonight. Richard Goff in particular has had a very good game. They've had to deal with a lot of pressure, a lot of 1-2s, a lot of give and goes, and a lot of long shots as well. But they've dealt very well. It's just the men in front of them, in the midfield section especially, just try and get together. I think Alex said in the first half they want somebody just to sit back in front of those three to try and tidy things up. But then again, Rangers are trying to seek and trying to get possession from somewhere in the park. So it's a bit of a catch-22 situation.
So there's still no scoring here in Bucharest. Again, Ellie McCoist gets a touch, but it's to no avail. There's no one up there with him. And perhaps Walter Smith starting to think about Gordon Dury to carry that lone role in the latter stages of the game. I tend to forget that McCoist has played so few matches over the last couple of years. It'll be taking an awful lot out of him. This is Durant. Through for McCoist. And again, the Romanians are there in numbers and pick it up comfortably. Slid off by Vladiou. Through now for Ilya. Nice change by him. And behind it goes for the goal kick. But every time he gets the ball just outside the area, there's a potential problem, but he certainly has a problem now. But just a nice little change of direction from him. But the shot wide, and he's hurt himself.
Nothing trivial, we hope, but I think Alan McLaren had the shot covered anyway, so had it been on target, Alan McLaren would have blocked it, as the Rangers back three have had to block quite a few shots from outside the box. But clever play once again by Steaua Bucharest. You can see that they're very comfortable in possession, a lot of give and goes, a very good understanding, whereas Rangers haven't quite got that understanding with their system yet. The chance to get a breather now, try and get their wits back and senses back, and trying to get a bit of coordination, a bit of communication between each other in an effort to try and get some possession. I just feel with Rangers, there's one chance they need, one chance Ali McCoy needs, especially in the box, and it could be in the back of the net. Hopefully, anyway.
But you do get the feeling that Rangers' chance will come from a set piece. This is Petric. Well, some activity below us, and Steaua are going to make another substitution, but still play goes on. This is Gascoigne trying to find an opening, and Durant's shot is high over the target. So on comes Rosu. And of course, Yoyo has been stretchered off. So it's certainly a blow for Steaua, who is certainly one of the better players. This is an under-21 front player, just 19 years of age, and won a championship medal last season. So he takes up a position up front.
The Rangers will be pretty relieved to see Elie go off, because he's been a thorn in their side for shooting and with his positive running as well, so they'll be quite pleased to see the back of him.
Well, certainly he's managed to get off the stretcher now, but it's all over for him this evening. And it's Petric now for Rangers. The offside flag has gone up. Of course, there's 3 points available for a win in the Champions League now. But if Rangers go home with a single point, they might not be too unhappy. And of course, the next game is at home against Borussia Dortmund, 2 weeks tonight. So again, Petric plays it through, but asking an awful lot of Ali McCoy. This is Prodan. It's played through by Cheek, cut out by Gascoigne. This is Durant. Good turn by him. And Vladayu's there. He just runs and runs all night, and tremendous work rate. And he's won the ball back for Steaua again. Here he is. But, that one given away to Petric. Charlie Miller knocking that one just too far ahead of him.
Yeah, we had Charlie Miller there and Andy Durant both making wrong decisions on the ball. Just a sign of Rangers' frustration that they really haven't had much possession. And when they do get possession, they're just making some wrong decisions on the ball. So, if they can get a bit more, get a hold of the ball a bit more, not show them too much frustration if they can, because they've still got a lot of this game to play. Hopefully, a lot more balls to receive. If they can get hold of the ball, not show their frustration too much, they've got a chance of being A, disciplined, and B, getting hold of the ball.
So there's still no scoring here in Bucharest. And it's Steaua coming forward through Filipescu. This is Gilka. Militaru. It's cut out by McLaren. It's Gilka. And he spots Pervu in the forward position, number 3 there. It's into Vladayu, and Goff has to concede the corner kick. And so the man's in a hurry again to get on with things. He hasn't given the defence a moment's peace all evening. And Gascoigne taking the ball down inside his own penalty area, and eventually he has to concede the throw-in. This is Pierrevaux, Gilcat. Charlie Miller goes down heavily, but he's back on his feet, and it's Laudrup trying to break here now, but again, they've got players around him. This is White, and forced into the pass back. It's Durant, Gascoigne. Andy Gorham was certainly under pressure there. Vladiou again, and was running in towards goal. And Goff had certainly put the goalkeeper under pressure with the pass back. This is McCoist. Durant. Well, he just mishit that when he was trying to send it out to the left. Alec Cleland, who had made a good run. So that's 65 minutes gone, still no scoring. I see Gordon Jury warming up just below us as play goes on. This is Raducan. Vladiou again, twisting and turning and taking a bit of a dive there. And the ball goes behind for the corner kick. I think the referee will speak to the player. He is, in fact, having a word with him. And again, if he thinks he took a dive there, and it certainly looked that way to me, he should yellow card him. Thankfully, that's not the scoreline. And the ball goes behind for the goal kick. Well, still Gordon Jury is warming up below.
It's pretty turgid stuff at the moment. Still Bucharest. I mean, the pace of the game's gone quite dramatically, quite flat now, but Rangers won't be too unhappy with that. If they are going to put on a sub, it'll probably be a straight swap. Gordon Jury for Ali McCoy, who really hasn't had much service at all up front. No real chances for Ali, but we'll just have to wait and see if he's coming on. Perhaps there might just be a G-up for the rest of the team that was thinking about making a substitution.
I suppose the opening game is a pressure one, and especially for the home side, they want to make an early impression. Here's Vladiou. This is Filipescu. It's Durant who's back defending. That ball's out of play for the corner. But, you remember Rangers starting their campaign 3 years ago against Marseille at Ibrox. It was a hugely nervy night for them. They were massively outplayed, although they did manage to fight back for a draw. But, a few nerves showing tonight, no doubt about that. So Prodan has moved forward. He gets a touch. Out comes Gorham. Punches it clear. And a complete miscue there. And, well, one of the Rangers players is on the deck inside his own penalty area, as Ali McCoist breaks forward. Again, he's very much on his own. So Alec Cleland is inside the Steaua penalty area, flat out. I don't think the referee has spotted what's happening, and Richard Goff's running over to tell the referee. Well, they get on fairly quick with